like excited. I don't know. Like, I don't want to say obsessed. Dedicated, motivated. I'm really in a good place right now with Pokemon. I think Pokemon's a lot of fun again. Like, I feel like I'm getting a lot of passion back. I don't know if it's just because of this whole like master setting idea, but I have been I don't know, I feel very happy with everything that's going on in the Pokemon card space. And I know it's not great. I know there's still a lot of problems with allocations. I know there's still a lot of problems with scalping and prices being too expensive and all that jazz. I get it. And that is speed bumps for sure on the path. But I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like this whole idea of master setting every single Pokemon card set, while it seems really daunting, it's something that's fun. It's something fun to look forward to. So I'm going to continue down the path. I got a really fun video today that I couldn't believe some of these holographic rares, like the price points and the gains that they've seen. And I'm going to get into everything on that in a second. But before I jump into that, I think I might have everything for this master set by Friday already. I just recently ordered the more expensive cards a couple days ago, like the Mewtwo, which has dropped a lot in price. We'll talk about Destined Rivals later on this week, but like a lot of prices dropped, which is great. A lot of people finding success opening Destined Rivals, but this is a master set. We give this, I mean, it's not a full master set yet, but it's a heckin' good start of a master set. It's missing all of the secret rares, quote unquote secret rares, but I think they're all on their way. In which case, then we can start this giveaway. So if you want to win a master set of Destined Rivals, we do this for every single set release. We give away a master set. You want to talk about daunting. Black Bolt, White Flare, that's going to be a daunting master set to give away. But this one, we didn't really open anything, unfortunately. We ended up purchasing all the guts for it, which is fine. But we're going to give this away to one lucky subscriber. So hopefully more details about that will be released on Friday. But if you want to win, you got to make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. So hit that subscribe button, and then boom, you're at least like partly entered. You're going to have to come back and like and comment on a video. Hopefully that'll be Friday's video. So at least you know which one it'll be. But if you watched the video from Sunday talking about Legendary Collection, I'm very focused right now on mastering every single set. And I could not believe, I was digging through bulk boxes the other day looking for some cards. I think I'm working on like Legendary Treasures a little bit, but I'm also working on Generations. I wanted to get Generations done because I've got a decent amount of those, and I figured, well, I want to get Generations taken care of as we move closer and closer to the 30th anniversary. The last thing I want is those cards to pop off and get even more expensive. Those Radiant Collection cards, like they tinker every once in a while. They go up and down, and Generations was kind of a set where it was widely available, but it wasn't at a point yet where people were really protecting their cards super well. So near mint copies, things like that, a little bit more limited, at least in my opinion. So I'm like, I gotta get some of those. I want to get Generations done. So I'm digging through, looking for holo bulk, looking for things like that. I could not believe some of the stuff that I found. And I've got like probably 6 or 7 5-rows of holographic bulk from past years. So we're not talking about like Sword and Shield era sets and later. We're talking about before Sword and Shield era. And I could not believe as I was going through, when I'm talking about mastering these sets, it does get very daunting and it gets very overwhelming, especially when you start looking at prices. And the last thing that I want to do is spend $100,000 on mastering these sets. So the goal is to try and figure out how I can do this as cheaply as possible. And a lot of that's going to be like, okay, buying from one seller as much as I possibly can, especially when it comes to the commons and uncommons, because then you don't have to worry about multiple shippings. You don't have to worry about multiple fees when it comes to that stuff, and you can get a good chunk of it done. But also replenishing those funds, utilizing my existing collection to help me build these master sets. And I'm digging through and I'm looking at prices and I'm looking through some of this stuff, and a lot of holographic rares. If you remember when holographic rares weren't necessarily the chase, but they were a good pull. Like not every pack had a holographic rare in it. And I'm looking through and I just could not believe as I'm going through pricing these cards out, going through price charting, I'm like, wow, a lot of these holographic rares are, $2, $3, $4, $5. Like a lot of them have a little bit of value associated with them. And we don't think about that because we think about holographic rares. And a lot of times we just kind of toss them to the side right now because it's like, well, I didn't get an EX and all of a sudden we're missing out. And the main goal, like we sit here and we watch YouTube videos of all these POVs and people going to card shows and dropping thousands of dollars and things like that. And I cannot tell you how many times I've already emphasized this, but I want to say it again. There is value in everything. value in every single collection that you have. And the goal is not to just immediately start spending thousands of dollars and trading those thousands of dollars for other thousands of dollars. The goal is to use your existing collection and help grow whatever your collection grails or whatever your goals might be. So utilizing what I currently have to try and turn it into master sets is important. I've already spent a couple $1,000s on just the master sets, like ordering commons and uncommons and things like that. And I need to recuperate some of those funds so that way I can continue to reinvest and put into, this ultimate goal of building these master sets of every single set. So I'm digging through and I'm like this is just I don't know, this is just 100 holographic rares out of the thousands that I have. And I'm looking at all this stuff and it's like, wow, some of these actually have decent value associated with them. And that's what we're going to go through in this video. Some that you probably didn't even realize that have just absolutely exploded over the past year. But I'm going through and I'm seeing, okay, well, Breakpoint, we've got Steam Siege and Ancient Origins, and there's Breakpoint there, and that's not doing bad. And there's, like, the artwork on some of these cards just slaps so much. It's absolutely phenomenal. Slowking, I remember Slowking making a little bit of a dent. Here's a Garbotoxin Garbodor from Breakpoint. So you've got Garchomp, which was a big one with Maxis. Obviously with Bite Off, that was a decent competitive play. More Suicune's Delphox Klinklang. Golem from Generations. Like I said, I was working on Generations stuff, so pulling out holographic rares from that. But then looking and seeing all these duplicates and triplicates and then going on TCG Player to run comps or going on price charting to run comps and things like that, and seeing just $2, $3 here and there, that adds up. The Geomancy Xerneas, Hydreigon, more Chandelures, which is just the goated Pokemon. Delphox from Fate's Cloud. We've got Fight Alone Lucario from Fate's Cloud, which wasn't terrible. You've got Lunala right here from Cosmic Eclipse and Solgaleo, and a lot of cards from like Unbroken Bonds. And here's Meloetta from Legendary Treasures, like that'll help. And then just going through all this stuff. Look at Fright Knight Evital, like that was big back in the day. There's a Tyranitar. We've got Poliwrath right there. We've got more Chandelure. There's a Gourgeist from Phantom Forces and Frostlass from Unify Minds. And just going and looking at the price points of some of these cards, it's astounding. Like it amazed me. I don't know when this happened. I do know covering some of this bulk stuff before, some of these bulk holographic rares that you might find, going through a bulk box at a card store or an event, or going through your own bulk boxes, because some of this stuff, this is all later stuff. We're talking about XY gen, we're talking about Sun and Moon generation, nothing before that. I might have put like a black and white era stuff, holographic rare in here, but for the most part, it's all XY era and Sun and Moon era, and like you might have a decent amount of these just kind of lying around. And if you look, like this Snorlax right here, beautiful artwork on this card. Absolutely stunning, with the Pikachus in the background. Snorlax, very happy camper, obviously very full. He's got a nice Torchic chilling on his head there. It is up 293% over the past year. Not overly liquid, but that's because there's not a whole lot of copies that are out there. This was a $5.31 card in December, and if you look at what it's done over the past several months, we talk about the retracing and a lot of stuff that's going on with special illustration rares, even some alternate arts, holographic rares. For the most part, a lot of these continue to climb, and it's very interesting to see. And the demand continues to show up. So it's not, I don't know if this is getting bought out or whatever the case may be, but you're looking at 293% growth over the past, year technically, but a lot of that happening over the past 6 months or so, sitting at $23.76 for a holographic rare. If we priced out every card from Unbroken Bonds, I feel confident that this would be higher than the majority of the ultra rares outside of like the tag teams. So Snorlax continuing to make a lot of noise. So if you have any lazy eating Snorlaxes just lying around, this was not like a huge competitive card or anything like that. This is just a nice artwork, nice holographic rare that might not be as supplied out there, that has just really gained a lot of steam and continuing to grow. Here's Swampert, a lot of these ancient trait Pokemon also doing extremely well in the current market. And again, you're not looking at like these POV videos where people are selling cards for thousands of dollars, but I'm telling you, the $2, $3, $4, $5 cards, those add up. If you're somebody who's like, I just want to trade in a card, I want to get a booster pack, I want to rip some packs, a $12.63 holographic Swampert that you didn't even realize you had is worth, more than name a booster pack in that. I mean, this is half of an Evolving Skies pack. This is a Crown Zenith pack. This is whatever you want. If it's just sitting there, if you've got duplicates, if you've got triplicates, if it's just chilling in a bulk box, utilizing it to help build your collection, like that's where it's at. That's part of the trading card game. Like that's part of the trading facet of the game. Trading this in, it can go a long way, especially if you do that rinse and repeat over and over again. So Swampert in December of 2024 was down to $4.86. Not bad, even $4.86 for a holographic holographic rare, when you're talking about holographic rares, right now, bulk price on them like 4 cents. Like very, very inexpensive. But you're looking right here at one that's jumped up 124%, with the majority of that damage happening since December. Now, it did hit $12.76, so it lost a little bit because it's down to $12.63. So it's lost about 11 cents, or 13 cents, which is crazy, I know. But still doing extremely well, and just a holographic rare. Like, those ancient trait Pokemon are pretty cool, but a lot of them doing very well. Here's Nihilego. Some of these are going to be impacted by different formats in Pokemon competitive play, like GLC, the Gym Leader Challenge, which lets you utilize one singular copy of basically any card that's close to expanded format. You can't go back all the way, but there's a lot of different rule sets and stuff like that, but you're building a deck based off of a specific type, like a psychic type or a fighting type or something like that. So Nihilego, not bad in GLC, doing fairly decent right now. It's gained about 53.5% over the past year. You can see in June of 2024, it was just under $8, went up a little bit and then went back down, and there's really no understanding or idea of where Pokemon is going to go. Obviously, the GLC format is cool and it's a lot of fun, but it's more fan-made. Same thing with Expanded. Expanded used to be a real thing for sanctioned tournaments where you would get points and you could use those points to qualify for the World Championships. Right now, Expanded play, GLC play, those are more just fun. Like, they're not going to net you championship points yet. Who knows what Pokemon is going to do next year? We have this national, or the NAIC tournament coming up in a couple weeks, and Pokemon announced that they're going to do a 2010 format tournament. So they're going to rewind time 15 years and focus on 2010 format, and people can play for fun. And it's just cool to see all the history and things like that. Nihilego, obviously, one of those cards that does well in GLC, but not every card on this list is simply because of the GLC format. So Nihilego has gained a lot of steam. It's jumped up to $12.81. Recently, it's retraced a little bit to $12.24. But again, a holographic rare from Lost Thunder that's currently sitting at $12.24 for a holographic rare. More expensive than a lot of the ultra rares that are in Lost Thunder. Here's Gengar. This one from Breakthrough. Gengar in general always does extremely well. We've talked about this, rinse and repeat a million times. You talk about the Gengar EX, which doesn't see any play. That's just a standard card right now from the Scarlet and Violet era. I think it came out in Paradox Rift or Temporal Forces, one of those two sets. That one sells better than a lot of the other bulk cards, right? Gengar V from Fusion Strike sells better. And you look at that Gengar V Max from Fusion Strike, even the regular one, not the alternate art one, selling extremely well because Gengar is just one of those Pokemon that always does well. Here's Creepshow Gengar from Breakthrough. This one in December was down to $4.52, relatively flat, but gained a lot of steam in December and hasn't really retraced much. It jumped all the way up to $12.36. It's sitting at $11.63 right now, up about 137%. That is just a holographic rare from Breakthrough. So again, a card that is a holographic rare that is more expensive than a lot of the ultra rares that are in this set. Here's Typhlosion from Lost Thunder with its blazing energy. Honestly, a lot of these cards have potential in GLC, but not necessarily all of them are going to be because of GLC. Some of them are just dependent on artwork or availability. In September of 2024, a little bit before that, maybe August, it was $5.38 for this card, which isn't bad, right? A holographic rare worth $5.38. That's more than a lot of the ultra rares. That's more than a lot of full art trainers that are right now in the Scarlet and Violet generation as just a holographic rare. And relatively flat until December, started gaining a little bit of steam, obviously over $6. Then it's jumped all the way up to $9.51 recently. It's currently sitting at $8.89. So almost a double-digit price-wise holographic rare, again, from Lost Thunder, up about 54% over the past year, doing extremely well. Guzzlord, this one is because of GLC. This one does fairly well, and it's gained a lot of steam again over the past couple months. You can see in September of 2024, it's actually retracing a little bit down to about $4.35, but it's gained a lot of steam since then. And because of its success in GLC, it is relatively liquid of a card. Finding them at tournaments and things like that, it's a little bit difficult to do. And it does sell fairly well on the open market in various places, whether it be eBay or TCGplay or wherever. But it's jumped up about 69%, sitting at $8.39 currently, which is just off of its one-year high of $8.48. Here's the Lugia from Team Up. A lot of Team Up cards doing extremely well from the holographic rare category. This one, the most expensive. Now, obviously, you have other ones ones in there that are $2, $3, $4 a piece. And I know that's not going to, like $2, $3, $4. What's that going to do? But again, you do that over and over again. It's the whole mantra of how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. It's just, you keep stacking. You keep stacking and stacking and stacking. And this is what somebody does who really wants to build up to that grail, or who really wants to build up their collection without having to invest a ton of money, letting your collection work for you. Like, that's the main goal. December of 2024, this was $2.64. Since then, it's gained about 165% without really retracing. It hit $8.10. It's lost just over a nickel since then, sitting at 803. So up about 165%, doing crazy good. Here's Tyrantrum from Forbidden Light. This one, very cool looking artwork. Obviously, prehistoric feel to it. Not a very GLC centric card, like not a big card as far as competitive play goes. June of 2024, it was $2.91. So not a super expensive holographic rare at all. Better than a bulk holographic rare, but not something that's super expensive. It's just been going up since then because of lack of availability and demand for, in general, of the card game. And because of that, a lot of holographic rares have really seen a ton of increase. You can see steady growth up until March, and then it took the next step up. It's up about 157% over the past year, sitting at $7.57 right now and continuing to climb. Here's Giratina with Distortion Door. This one from Lost Thunder. This one is a little bit GLC impacted, but also in general, this card has just always done fairly well with the artwork. September of 2024, it was $3.64. Started climbing pretty quickly in September. Really in October, November, it started taking that next more steep climb there. 95.5% growth over the past year. It's sitting at $7.20 right now. That's a year high for this one and continuing to climb. Here's the Mew from Unbroken Bonds. This one with the bench barrier. There was a reprint of this in Hidden Fates. That was just a promo card in one of those pin collections, but same ability, bench barrier, which does fairly well in GLC format, in expanded format. This one in specific, people really just like the artwork as well. In June of 2024, it was sitting at $3.98. Obviously got bought up at that time. Started climbing a little bit, retraced a little bit, and then took the next step up. Now it's jumped up about 76% over the past year, sitting at a flat $7 right now and continuing to climb again for just a holographic rare. Here's Meganium from Lost Thunder with the quick ripening herb. In June of 2024, this was sitting at $2.27. Obviously, a little strange activity going on there in December. For the most part, it was retracing a little bit after that, though. And then once January hit, started climbing a little bit. Not as much availability for it. Not the most liquid card, only selling a copy or two on a weekly basis, but up about 197% over the past year for a holographic rare, sitting at $6.74 right now and continuing to climb. Here's the Aurorus. I can't even say it. June of 2024, all the way up to March, is slow growth. Very slow growth. Very glacial pace. In December of 2024, it was kind of right around $3, so it gained a little bit, maybe about 10% during that time, and then shot up as more copies sold. Obviously, a lot of people getting into the hobby around that time. Aurorus shot up to about $6.25 where it is right now. And again, not a whole lot of money there, right? Like, I get it. That's not, Fanny, why are you talking to me about $6? That's nothing. That's broke boy. I get it. I'm a broke boy. But when you do this over and over again, like, that money adds up. That value adds up. And adding to your collection by stacking up all these holographic rares or things like that, like, that's a big deal. Every $1, $2 can really play a difference, especially right now in the market where we see a lot of retracing happening with those illustration rares, with those special illustration rares. This went up about 125% over the past year, so sitting at $6.25. Here's the Pheromosa from Forbidden Light. This one also doing really well. June of 2024 is at $2.27. Started gaining a lot of momentum all the way up until March, and then it really started gaining a lot of steam. Jumped up about 148% now over the past year, sitting at $5.66, basically at its year high. The Jirachi from Team Up. This was a huge card in competitive play with that Stellar Wish ability. People were using it in every deck. It was a 4 of putting Jirachi out there, searching through your deck, basically drawing cards to increase consistency, finding an item card or a trainer card there that you can utilize, and then rescue boarding it back to your bench, putting another Jirachi out there. A lot of times you would fall into a Zapdos or something like that, so that way you could assault. Like, it was just a very big card in competitive play. Lost favor. This was something that a lot of people wanted to pull when they were opening up Team Up. Team Up, it was not the chase for the Lovebirds, it was the chase for Jirachi when Team Up originally came out. Much different times right now. In December of 2024, this is a $2.75 card. You can see it jumped up recently all the way to as high as $5.65, up about 93%, currently sitting at $5.57. Again, you're not going to retire off of a $5 card, right? But it is doing extremely well. Here's Gengar. This one's artwork is really cool. This one's from Crimson Invasion. Crimson Invasion doesn't get a lot of love. It wasn't a great great set. But this Gengar artwork definitely top shelf right here. September of 2024, sitting at $2.42. Really started gaining some steam, and really Gengar just does Gengar things. Up about 79% now over the past year, sitting at $5.56 and continuing to climb. And there is a ton more. Like, you can go to TCG Player, you can go to Price Chart, and you can just look at holographic rares, and you can just determine, okay, what do I have in my bulk? I'm just going to take a few hours here. I'm going to sort through my holographic rare bulk, and I'm going to see what I can all pull out, you know, that's got $2, $3, $4 of value. And if I can find 100 cards, like, that's $200, $300, $400 that I can really put into. Maybe you want a tag team alternate art, or maybe you want to buy all the tag teams or megas, but you see they've really gained a lot of value. You feel like you missed out, and now you really want to get them. Well, selling off some of these extra cards that you're not really paying a whole lot of attention to, or that you don't really need because they're not part of your collection goals, can really go a long way. So I hope you enjoy the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. It goes a really long way for the algorithm. Share the channel, share the video if you want. You guys don't have to do any of that stuff. I just appreciate you guys being here. I love you. We'll be back tomorrow with a stream. Thursday we'll talk about some Destined Rival stuff. Till next time, peace.